All right, hello everybody, and welcome to day three of the CS:GO Major Qualifier PGL Krakow thing. Um, so this is a quick recap of day two, where we can cry about what happened yesterday. So as you can see here, the first match of the day, the match that really meant everything to me, Liquid just got ran over, dude. There was literally nothing they can do. They lost to Penta 16-3, and it was a pretty big shocker, to be honest. But HS literally just 1v5'd Liquid on the T side. Like, he just ran into bomb sites and killed everybody that was in the site, and then made either the rest of Liquid save or just die in like a 2v5 retake. And it was pretty hard to watch, to be honest. Now, the next match was a pretty good match. Vegas Squadron did end up not really upsetting in my
Whoop,
opinion,
whoop.
but they beat Optic, and that was a pretty good multiplier on that. And then the next match was pretty sad, dude. Renegades actually. So I ended up putting $75 on this game on Renegades, and they ended up losing 16 to 14. They lost the half 12 to 3, and then they brought it all the way back, and then they choked against an eco round. But I mean, at
Lost
that
to a.
point, it's really not choking anymore because literally that happens every single game. People bring like a
Yep.
comeback and then they lose to an eco round. And as you can see in the next game, the exact same thing happened. Is it the next game? No, it's the next
One.
next game. Big ended up beating Tengri, but it was a lot closer than everyone expected. So Tengri actually showed something this game, which means there might be potential for their game today. But I didn't want to bet on Tengri yesterday because they literally lost 16 to 1, and I got absolutely no information off of it. But that game was decent, so I think that they're definitely
And
not
the only
necessarily a
reason Big
team
won
that's,
that is because of Tabson.
yeah, exactly. Um, so Tengri definitely showed something. But the next game was Immortals versus Dignitas, and Immortals were up 13 to 2 at half, and it was the exact same thing that happened on the Renegades game. Dignitas brought it all the way back and then choked against like a half buy kind of type thing. And
Oh, was that half bar they lost to?
well, all I know is like they rushed A, and like I don't know if it was a half buy, but they literally just rushed A from the start of the round. So like it was
What
pretty.
map was it?
It was cash as well. It was the same thing as
Yeah.
it's the exact same thing that happened to Renegades. So that sucks. Those two upsets didn't. I mean, not even really upsets, but those two games didn't go in my favor. Hellraiser versus Flipside. Not what I expected. I did expect Flipside to win, but they just
But
shit
a
on
lot
Hellraisers,
closer.
dude. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be a decent match, but Electronic just went off, dude, and
Electronic's
Flipside just
insane.
shit on Hellraisers, to be honest, on Overpass, which is one of Hellraiser's best maps apparently. But honestly, Flipside's insane on. They beat Navi on it and stuff before about it. I mean, it's been about a year since they've played it all, or like since anyone's seen them play it all. But yeah, their Flipside's pretty good, to be honest. On Overpass and Train, I'd say are some of their most insane maps. G2 versus Cloud9, kind of a similar story than as the Immortals and Dignitas stuff, but Cloud9 actually was closer at the first half, and they didn't quite bring it back as much as the other teams did, but they were starting to bring it back. I don't know if Cloud9 just had a really slow start. Shroud started off like 0-9, and so that's why it wasn't the best thing in the world. And then the last game of the day was Mousesports versus Godsent. Mousesports ended closing that one out. It started getting kind of close. It looked like Godsent might bring it back, but Mousesports ended up closing out pretty well. So that was yesterday. Not too many good ones. The only good one that was Vega versus Optic, but it was a 3 multiplier. So I mean, hopefully you guys did well on that. And, oh no, Flipside and Hellraisers was 3 multiplier as well. So those two games probably brought you to about even or whatever, depending on how much you win on it. So I have 190. The first game of day 3 is going to be Dignitas versus Tangri, and this is a elimination match, right? This is an OT match.
The first two
The
matches were
first two matches
elimination.
are elimination matches. So whoever the two teams that lose these are gonna be out. They're not making it to the major anymore. And honestly, as much as I mean not love Dignitas, but as much as I like Dignitas, um, like I don't think that Tangri, at least from what they showed yesterday, I don't think that they deserve a 4. But if this was to go up a little bit more for Dignitas, like to like a 1.4 or 1.5, I'd probably go on Dignitas. But because of the fact that it's almost a 4 for Tangri, I'd say maybe drop like a really tiny bet on them,
Uh-huh.
like maybe like 2 or 3% on them. To be honest, if that goes up, I'll definitely use that for multi bets. But I don't think that they deserve almost a 4 to Dignitas's 1.19 because honestly, Dignitas the way they play is like really hit or miss, and they could miss and like Tangri could easily upset them. Um, it's surprising that Dignitas even got here in the first place. That being said, Tangri was the second seed out of probably the worst region. So like, I don't know, CIS or Asia, one of those is the worst region. But they
Mhm.
were the second seed out of one of the worst regions. So
Australia is the worst region, dude.
well, they don't really get their own region. So
No, no.
yeah, because of that, you might want to drop like a little teeny bit. Optic versus Renegades is the next game, and honestly, bro, the way both of these teams have been playing, it is pretty much about a 50-50. Usually, I'd give Renegades the advantage, but they've been looking really bad. Optic didn't look terrible in the games that they've played, but Renegades is probably the stronger team. So if you're going off the form of the past couple games, I'd give it to Optic because Renegades have literally just choked 2 games in a row. And Optic haven't looked terrible against other teams, but Renegades is probably usually the stronger team against. So it is really a 50-50. You can go on either team. I'll probably go on Renegades for a little bit. Since it's a 50-50, just literally put however much you're willing to
Probably
like.
on the whoever's got the higher percent,
Yeah, that that is
higher
usually what you do
multiplier.
on a 50-50, but like some people, like if it's that close and they like Optic more, they'll go on Optic or whatever. But
Hmm.
just whatever you feel like trying to double, basically that's what you should go on them. So, you know what I mean? Next match is Vega Squadron versus Tyloo. Now this game's kind of weird because like this game, the Immortals game, and the Flip Side game have been changing a lot. Like literally like a lot. Like this Vega Squadron game, Vega had like a 1.15 like 10 minutes ago, and so like I can't really say with these couple games um the exact percentages. So we'll just talk about the games all together. In my opinion, I think Vega Squadron's gonna have about a 2.2%. Like that sounds pretty reasonable to like what everyone else is thinking. And honestly, Vega Squadron are insane. So if Vega Squadron has a lower or a higher multiplier, I definitely think that dropping a bet on them is for sure a good idea. Um, Vega Squadron ended up beating Optic yesterday, and Tyloo lost
Beat
to,
Renegades.
or no, yeah, Tyloo beat Renegades in a 16-14, which kind of
I
sucked.
think Vegas squad could take this pretty easily.
Yeah, honestly, I think
Mhm.
Vega Squadron is really good at upsetting teams, and they're insane, dude. They're literally insane. Chopper and JR
Mirror and
and Mir, they're
JR.
they're nutty, dude. So honestly, I think that if Vega has a lower percent against like anyone in the tournament, just
The,
drop a
the
small
only
bet on
thing
them.
is, I'm afraid that they might let it go to Mirage, which is like Tyloo's best map.
hmm Well, honestly, I
Um,
don't mind Vega Squadron on Mirage. It's just the first day they had a really shaky performance on the T side. I think that they
mhm.
really do have a good Mirage and it's one of their best maps, but it was just really bad on the T side for some reason. They couldn't put a round together against Hellraisers.
I
So,
just, I can't believe how they have such a high multiplier right now. Like,
hmm
if it stays this way, that's
honestly, I think it might
such.
go up a little more, to be honest, because I don't think
I
people
hope
are
it
that
does.
smart.
Like,
I think Vega
yeah,
Squadron is that team that everyone's like written off as like, oh, they're not gonna make
who are
it.
these guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who are these guys exactly? And Tyloo, everyone's like, oh, that's the number one team in Asia. Oh my God, they're so good. You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
because of that, I feel like people are dumb. And yeah, so if Vega Squadron keeps going up, dude, that's good. That's definitely good. The next match is Big versus Immortals. I don't understand what is going on here, but like I said, this is one of the matches that has been like fluctuating pretty heavily. Like about 10 minutes ago, it was like a 50-50 match, just like the Renegades versus Optic one. It was pretty much about the same percentages. But this is what I more see the percent actually staying at. Maybe a little bit less of a multiplier for Big. Probably like a 1.3 or something like that, or 1.4 for Immortals. Something like that. But I don't know. I don't want Immortals to lose. You know what I mean? I kind of want them to finally make it to a major, but that being said, this isn't even really a good bet to put on for upset potential. I mean, with a 4 multiplier, I definitely think it's decent if it goes to like cobblestone or something like that. But big big, everyone has to show up for big. Like Kiev has not been playing good at
Yeah.
all, and he's one of their main features.
It's Tapson and him. Those
Tabson
are
and
the two
Kiev, and
stars.
Tabson's the only one that's been showing up. He's the reason that they almost brought it back against Cloud9, and he's the reason they barely pulled it off against Tangri. So Kiev has to show up, and even Legia, bro. Legia's been playing like ass recently too. He's not necessarily a star player, but the way he's been performing is really
He
bad.
kills.
Yeah. Well, I think I just lagged out.
Wait,
Am I lagging out? Hello? Here, I'm gonna reset my internet. I'm gonna talk about the next game by myself. Then hopefully I can join back.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Wait,
Hello?
are we back?
Are
Hello?
you good?
Okay, I think I'm back. I think I'm back.
Did you hear the dun-dun-dun,
Yeah, I did
dun-dun-dun?
hear that. I was just about to say, I was like, I'm gonna reset my internet and then talk about the next game by myself, and then hopefully be back for the next one. But I don't have to. So, Cloud9 versus Godsent is the next match. Cloud9 has a 1.44, and Godsent is a 2.46.
I feel like Godson can win this.
I definitely think Godsent can win this.
I don't want him.
Yeah, exactly. We want Cloud9 to make it through, but Godsent has upset potential. I'm not gonna personally bet on that match. I'll probably use Cloud9 for a multi-bet or two. But I think that is definitely upset potential for Godsent. The multiplier for Godsent would have to go up a little more for me to want to bet on it. But if it goes to like Train or something like that, Godsent would definitely have a good chance. Even though Cloud9's insane on Train, Godsent is pretty good on Train as well. Mouse versus Penta is another match that I'm going to be multi-betting on a lot. Honestly, even though like people are like overhyping Penta right now in my opinion. Just because they like had that performance against Liquid, and it wasn't even a performance against Liquid, dude. It was literally just HS going off on Liquid. And for that reason, I don't think that Penta would be able to control Mousesports the same way that they did to Liquid. I think that the way Mousesports play is a lot different than Liquid, and I don't think that they can get really controlled like that, the way Liquid did. So I think that this is honestly pretty good, a pretty good easy multi-bet like usage for Mousesports. I think that a 1.53 is a really good percent to put in for multi-bets for a team that I think is I'm pretty confident in winning. That being said, I said that all day about Liquid, but obviously Penta went and pooped on them. So you never know, but I don't think Penta's honestly I don't even think Penta's still going to make it out of this tournament. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think they are. Even though they're up 2-0. But I don't know. You never know.
If you think about it, they played 2 trash NA teams.
Exactly. They haven't played an actual team yet, in my opinion. They almost lost to a terrible Optic, and then they just literally one guy carried them. That's the game they've had so far. So, that you could take that as it is. I really don't think Penta's making it out of this still. So, That being said, next game, Liquid versus Hellraisers. Liquid had like a 3 multiplier earlier, which I was really hyped about, but now it's like a 50-50. So I wouldn't recommend betting on this, in my opinion, because it really is a 50-50. I mean, it's just like the Optic Renegades game. Whatever team, if you want to bet on 50-50s, go with whatever team you feel comfortable in and bet however much you feel like basically doubling or losing, you know what I mean? Because it is a 50-50, almost a 2 multiplier for each team. And whatever you feel comfortable with putting on and trying to double, go for that. If Liquid's percent goes up any at all, like if it goes up to like a 2 or like a anything like that, I definitely say that bet on Liquid. But if it stays around this, do whatever you want, whichever team you want, honestly. Now this is more like it. The last game of the day, Flipside is a 4.22, dude. That's nutty. Honestly, I think that this match is I don't know. I just don't think G2 is making out of this scotch free because they're not the type of team that does do that. You know what I mean? So I think that a good bet on flip side is definitely good here with a 4.2 multiplier. That's really spicy. How do you feel about that, Alec? You're a G2 fan. You can't tell me this doesn't look spicy. Or or you could not answer me because I'm probably lagging really bad. That's cool too. Um, yeah, exactly. I'm lagging bad, so Alec can't even understand me. Um, but yeah, so
Heard you.
that is the day 3. So we're saying small, like tiny to small bet on Tangri if the
Okay.
multipliers stay about this. 50-50 Renegades, Optic, whichever team you feel more comfortable on, whatever percentage you want to go on. Vega Squadron, and this, the small recap right now, by the way, is by the multipliers that are on right now. So if they change any, then maybe look at the bet video that I do like an hour before the matches start. But Tyloo Vega Squadron, small to like medium, maybe even on Vega Squadron. Um, Big versus Immortals, skip or small on big if you think that if that's something you want to do. Cloud9 versus Godsent, probably skip unless Godsent's multipliers go up anymore. Mouse Sports versus Penta, skip unless like Mouse Sports multiplier goes up a little bit more, then you could maybe small to medium on Mouse Sports. Liquid versus Hellraisers, it's a 50-50, whatever you want to bet on. If Liquid's percentages go or multiplier goes up, which I think it probably will, to be honest, then I definitely say drop a small to medium bet on Liquid. And G2 flip side, small bet on flip side with the 4 multiplier. So yeah, that is day 3. Hopefully day 3 goes a little better than day 2. But yeah, that's the end of the video, and I will be uploading the other little my actual bets video at the end of the night. So bye.